Have you ever prayed for something with your whole heart, only to feel like the heavens went silent? You wait, you hope, you do everything right, and still nothing moves. The doors stay closed, the phone never rings, and the dream that once felt so close begins to drift away. You start to wonder if maybe you were wrong to believe, if maybe faith is just another word for disappointment. But what if the silence isn't a rejection at all? What if the delay you're living through right now is the very thing that's shaping your miracle, slowly, quietly, and perfectly on time? There's a quiet kind of pain that comes when life tells you to wait. You've done everything you could, given your best, poured your heart into every moment, whispered every prayer you knew, and still nothing seems to move. The silence feels endless. The door stays closed. You start to wonder if maybe you did something wrong, if perhaps you were being punished, or if the universe has simply forgotten your name. But what if the delay you're facing isn't punishment at all? What if hidden within that stillness, there's something sacred, a protection so divine that you can only recognize it when you look back? So often we see waiting as wasted time. We think, if I'm not moving forward, I must be falling behind. But that isn't how life works. Think of a seed. You plant it, bury it deep in the cold, dark soil, and for weeks there's no sign of life. It looks lifeless, forgotten, smothered by the dirt. But beneath that stillness, something miraculous is happening. Roots are spreading. Strength is building. The unseen foundation of growth is being formed. You can't rush that process. If you dig up the seed too soon, you destroy the very thing you hope to grow. The same is true for you. What looks like a delay might be God's way of growing your roots before revealing your bloom. Sometimes we ask for blessings that we're not yet strong enough to hold. We pray for the spotlight before we've learned to stand steady in the dark. We demand answers before our hearts are prepared for the truth. And because we can't yet see the full picture, we mistake divine timing for divine neglect. But protection doesn't always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it comes disguised as disappointment. The job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the dream that didn't unfold when you expected. Those moments weren't meant to destroy you. They were designed to save you from something that could have. There's a certain mercy in unanswered prayers. How many times have you looked back and whispered, "Thank God that didn't happen when I wanted it to"? At the time, you couldn't have known. You only saw the door closing, not what lay behind it. But time has a way of revealing what wisdom hides. There was a reason it didn't work out then. Maybe because you weren't ready, or maybe because something better needed more time to arrive. There's a quiet orchestration happening beyond your sight, aligning moments, people, and opportunities in ways you couldn't possibly design yourself. You may think you've been forgotten, but in truth, you've been protected. Think of the times you've tried to force something before it's time, a relationship you knew deep down wasn't right, a project that drained more than it gave, a decision made out of fear rather than faith. You pushed, you pleaded, you persisted, and when it fell apart, it hurt. But maybe it had to. Maybe the pain of losing what was wrong for you is far kinder than the pain of keeping it. The delay saved you from a lifetime of regret. Protection doesn't always look gentle. Sometimes it arrives in the form of endings, silence, or redirection. Yet, if you listen closely, every no you receive carries within it the whisper of a better yes, waiting to be revealed. A friend once told me about a woman who spent months waiting for a promotion at work. She was certain she deserved it. She'd worked harder than anyone, stayed late, volunteered for extra tasks. But when the announcement came, her name wasn't on the list. She was devastated. She felt invisible, betrayed by effort that seemed to have gone unnoticed. 2 months later, the company went through major restructuring, and the entire department she had once dreamed of leading was dissolved. Every person who had received that promotion was suddenly out of a job. The woman was transferred to a new branch, one that ended up offering her even greater opportunities, and a team that saw her value. What she had once called a delay was, in truth, divine protection. The hardest part about protection is that it rarely feels like it in the moment. When you're in the waiting room of life, surrounded by silence, it's almost impossible to believe that something good could be unfolding behind the scenes. Your mind fills the quiet with doubt. Maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe it's never going to happen. Maybe this is all for nothing. But it's not for nothing. Silence is not absence. It's preparation. It's the space between who you were and who you're becoming. Every great story has a pause before the turning point. That moment where everything seems lost, where the hero has done all they can and must surrender to something greater. That pause is not failure, it's formation. It's where strength, wisdom, and perspective are forged. And when the next chapter begins, everything that once felt meaningless suddenly finds its place. You start to see that the delay wasn't a detour, it was the road itself. There's a story of a man who missed his train one morning because his alarm didn't go off. Frustrated and angry, he cursed his bad luck as he rushed to the station only to find the train had already left. Hours later, news broke that the train had derailed and there were no survivors. That delay, that small, inconvenient, frustrating delay, had saved his life. He later said that moment changed everything about how he viewed disappointment. He learned that when things don't go your way, it might just be life saving you from something unseen. Protection often works like that. We only understand it when we see what could have been. But faith asks us to trust, even when we can't yet see. It asks us to believe that the universe, or God, or whatever you call that higher wisdom, is weaving something beautiful out of the brokenness. It's not that your path has disappeared. It's that it's being paved with care. So the next time you face delay, when the call doesn't come, when the answer takes longer than you hoped, pause before you despair. Ask yourself, what if this isn't punishment? What if it's preparation? What if something is being rearranged so that when it does arrive, it fits perfectly? You may not see it yet, but life has a way of revealing meaning at the exact moment you're ready to understand it. Remember the seed in the soil. From the surface, it looks forgotten, but beneath, it's being nourished, strengthened, and transformed. You are that seed. You are not buried, you are planted. And the delay you're experiencing is not the end of your story. It's the part where your roots take hold, so that when your season comes, you won't just bloom, you'll endure. And one day, when you look back on this season of waiting, you'll smile at the memory of all the nights you thought you were being punished, only to realize you are being protected by grace far wiser than your understanding. There is something profoundly uncomfortable about waiting. It tests you in ways nothing else can. When you are moving, striving, achieving, there is rhythm, there is purpose, there is control. But when life tells you to pause, when your dreams seem to stall just inches away from your reach, when progress slows to a crawl and you are left with nothing but uncertainty, that's when the real work begins. Not the work of doing, but the work of becoming. Because delay, though it feels cruel and unkind, is the furnace in which depth of character is forged. You see, quick victories can be intoxicating, but they rarely teach us much. When things come easily, we begin to mistake convenience for destiny. We start to believe that the absence of obstacles means we are favored, and the presence of struggle means we are failing. But life, in its quiet wisdom, often withholds what we want most, not to break us, but to build something unshakable within us. It's in the waiting, the uncertainty, and the disappointment that we are stripped of illusion and faced with the raw truth of who we really are. There's a saying that people are like tea bags. You don't know how strong they are until you put them in hot water. The same could be said for character. Pressure, delay, and difficulty draw out what comfort conceals. When life denies you instant gratification, it's not being cruel. It's inviting you to grow roots deep enough to hold steady when the storms come. Because storms always come. Success without depth collapses under its own weight. Strength without humility becomes arrogance. Vision without patience becomes chaos. Delay gives you the time to grow into the kind of person who can carry what you've prayed for. Think about the great inventors, the pioneers, the dreamers who changed the world. Their stories are not ones of instant triumph. Thomas Edison tested over 1,000 different materials before creating a working light bulb. 1,000 failures, can you imagine? Yet when he was asked how he kept going, he said he hadn't failed 1,000 times. He'd simply found 1,000 ways that didn't work. That perspective, that endurance, that refusal to be defeated, that's character. And it was built in the waiting. Or consider an artist chiseling a statue from stone. Each delay, each misstep, each imperfection teaches the sculptor something vital, how to listen to the stone, how to find the figure hidden within it. If they rushed the process, the form would crack, the art would be lost. The masterpiece would remain buried beneath impatience. Life works the same way with us. Every delay is a sculptor's stroke, refining us, shaping us, teaching us the discipline that speed never could. When you are forced to wait, you begin to notice what you once ignored. You start to observe patterns, your habits, your impulses, your fears. Waiting strips away distraction. It brings your weaknesses to the surface so you can face them honestly. You learn that resilience isn't the absence of frustration. It's the ability to hold on through it. You learn that faith isn't built when everything is going right. It's forged when nothing seems to be. You learn to let go of control, to surrender the illusion that you can command life's timing, and instead to trust that what is meant for you will never pass you by. The truth is, delay humbles us, and humility is not weakness. It's the foundation of wisdom. When life slows you down, it forces you to see that your worth was never tied to how fast you could reach the finish line. It reminds you that you are not what you achieve, but who you become while waiting. You discover that character is not something you perform when eyes are watching. It's something you live when no one sees. It's the strength to keep showing up even when you're discouraged, to keep believing when evidence tells you not to keep being kind even when the world is not kind to you. There's a story of a young musician who dreamed of performing on the world's biggest stages. He practiced day after day, sent countless applications, faced endless rejections. For years, nothing happened. He worked in small bars and empty cafes, wondering if his time would ever come. But during those long, unseen years, his voice matured. His lyrics deepened. His confidence was no longer borrowed from applause. It grew from authenticity. When his moment finally arrived, he was ready. He didn't just have talent. He had truth. That's what delay does. It turns raw ambition into refined purpose. It transforms passion into power. And yet, we often resist it. We beg for shortcuts. We envy those who seem to have everything figured out. But even the people who appear to have soared overnight have stories of hidden waiting, seasons of confusion and doubt that the world never saw. Character rarely develops under the glow of victory. It grows in the shadow of uncertainty. The people who endure waiting with grace emerge with something more valuable than success. They gain wisdom, empathy, and depth. If you've ever met someone who radiates calm in chaos, who listens more than they speak, who doesn't need to prove themselves to anyone, you're looking at someone who has known delay. They've been forced to sit with pain long enough to understand it. They've learned that life isn't a race to the finish, but a journey of refinement. They know that the waiting room can be holy ground, a place where the soul learns to breathe. So, if life seems to have placed you in a season of stillness, don't despise it. Use it. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What part of me is being strengthened? Because while you wait, something invisible is forming. Resilience, maturity, compassion. You are being prepared for the very thing you think you're ready for now, but will only truly be able to handle later. One day you will look back and realize that the waiting wasn't wasted. It was where your integrity was tested, your patience was stretched, and your endurance was born. You'll see that every delay served a purpose, not to punish you, but to prepare you. The strength you will carry into the future won't come from the moments that went smoothly. It will come from the moments that forced you to keep going when you wanted to give up. Delay builds depth of character because it teaches us the most important truth of all. Who we are matters more than what we achieve. The world celebrates speed, but life rewards endurance. You are not behind. You are becoming. And though the waiting may hurt now, it is shaping you into someone who won't just succeed, but someone who will stand strong when success finally arrives. There is something revealing about waiting. When everything comes easily, it's simple to say you're committed, that you believe, that you want something deeply. But when time stretches on and nothing seems to move, when the excitement fades and all that's left is silence and uncertainty, that's when you discover what truly matters to you. Delay has a way of stripping away pretense. It tests the purity of your desire. It asks, Do you still want this even when no one's watching? Even when it costs you something? Even when it hurts to hope? Most people love the idea of success, but few can endure the stillness that comes before it. We crave outcomes, not processes. We want arrival without endurance. Yet the waiting period, that aching stretch of time when everything inside you says go and life says wait, is the most honest mirror of your heart. It shows whether your desire is rooted in passion or pride, in purpose or approval. It reveals whether you truly love the thing itself or only the applause that comes with it. Think of an artist painting in obscurity, creating day after day with no guarantee anyone will ever care. There is a moment in every artist's journey when they must decide, am I doing this because I need validation or because creating brings me to life? The ones who continue even without an audience are the ones whose work endures. They've learned that real desire is steady. It doesn't flicker when unseen. The delay separates the dreamers from the dabblers, the committed from the curious. It teaches you whether your dream owns you or you own it. Desire tested by time grows stronger. It becomes something sacred. There's a story of a young woman who dreamed of becoming a doctor. She applied to medical school 3 times and was rejected each time. Friends told her to move on, to find something else, but she couldn't let go, not because she wanted the title, but because she genuinely wanted to heal people. On her 4th try, she was accepted. Years later, she became known not only for her skill, but for her compassion, the kind that comes only from someone who's had to fight for her calling. The delay had purified her purpose. She didn't just want to be a doctor anymore, she wanted to serve. Waiting does something to you. It burns away the surface level desires, the ones built on ego, comparison, or the illusion of status. It exposes what's real. It humbles you, reshapes your priorities, and teaches you that what's meant for you won't need to be forced. You begin to want differently. Not louder, but deeper. The dream remains, but it softens into something truer, less about having and more about being. There's a quiet strength that comes from holding on when there's no proof you should. Every day you choose to keep believing, to keep showing up, to keep nurturing your goal, even when it feels invisible. You're proving something profound to yourself. You're proving that your faith is not conditional. You're proving that your desire is not dependent on speed. That kind of patience, that quiet perseverance, builds a different kind of power, one that no amount of instant success could ever replicate. You see, life uses delay as a filter. It separates those who are merely interested from those who are deeply committed. When the applause fades, when recognition doesn't come, when everything seems to stand still, the question becomes simple. Do you still care enough to keep going? If the answer is yes, then the waiting is doing its work. Because when your heart remains steady through the silence, when you continue to give your best without any guarantee, that's when you become unshakable. Many people give up moments before their breakthrough, not realizing that the delay was never meant to deny them, only to refine them. Sometimes the dream isn't the thing being tested, you are. The waiting asks, can you handle it when it comes? Can you remain grounded, humble, and faithful once it's finally yours? The delay shapes your character to match the magnitude of your desire. Without that preparation, the very thing you want might break you. So the next time you find yourself in that long, uncertain pause, remember this, you are not being punished. You are being revealed. Your truest desires are surfacing. You're learning what is real and what was only noise. The delay is not there to take your dream away, but to give it back to you in its purest form, aligned with who you've become and who you were always meant to be. And when that moment finally arrives, you will know without a doubt that the waiting wasn't empty. It was sacred. Timing is one of life's greatest mysteries. We try so hard to control it, to force things to happen when we believe we're ready, but life has its own rhythm, a pace that rarely matches our impatience. There are moments when we feel forgotten, when it seems as if everyone else's story is unfolding while ours is standing still. We question ourselves, our worth, our choices, and even our faith. But often, what feels like delay is really alignment. The universe is quietly arranging the right people, places, and opportunities, even when it appears that nothing is happening. Sometimes you're not being held back. You're being held in place because the timing isn't right yet. Imagine opening a flower bud before it's ready. The petals would tear, the beauty would be lost, and the life inside it would never reach its full bloom. In the same way, when we try to rush our own unfolding, we miss the magic of what's meant to come together naturally. Every dream, every relationship, every opportunity has its own season. The waiting isn't wasted time. It's the unseen choreography of life bringing everything into harmony. There are people who are meant to cross your path, but they're not ready yet. The version of them that's destined to help you grow, or love you the way you deserve, or open the door you've been knocking on, that version is still becoming. And so are you. It's not just about you waiting for the right people. It's about you becoming the right person too. Alignment isn't one-sided. It's a meeting of readiness. That's why the delay exists, so that when paths finally do cross, both hearts and circumstances are prepared to receive what's coming. Think about how many times you've looked back and realized that something which once devastated you actually protected you. A friendship that ended before it turned toxic. A job that fell through only for a better one to appear later. A love that didn't last because the timing was wrong. At the time, you might have thought you were losing something precious, but really you were being redirected. Delay often looks like denial, but it's actually divine orchestration. A rearranging of your story so that everything connects at exactly the right moment. There's a story of a man who missed his flight one morning because he left his house a few minutes late. He was furious, convinced the delay had ruined his entire week. But that same flight later experienced severe engine trouble. That small inconvenience, that frustrating delay, ended up saving his life. It's a dramatic example, but the lesson is universal. Not every pause is punishment. Sometimes the wait is grace in disguise. You were never late. You were being kept safe until your path was clear. And then there's the quiet beauty of people showing up right when you need them most. You can't plan that. You can't schedule the friend who calls just when you're about to give up, or the stranger who says something that changes the way you see your life. These moments are too precise, too gentle to be accidents. They're proof that timing is not random. The right people are always on their way. You just have to trust that their arrival will make sense when it happens. It's easy to look around and feel like you're behind, especially in a world that glorifies speed. But growth that lasts is never rushed. The tallest trees spend years developing roots before they ever stretch toward the sky. Your delay is that rooting season, the quiet preparation that ensures you'll be strong enough to stand when your moment finally comes. Because when alignment happens, it won't be fragile. It won't require chasing or forcing. What's meant for you will unfold with a peace that feels almost effortless because it was always yours. It just needed the right time and the right people to reveal itself. Think of a musician joining an orchestra. If they enter the song too early, it ruins the melody. But if they wait for their cue, if they trust the rhythm, their note blends perfectly with the rest, creating something timeless. That's what divine timing is like. A grand composition where every person, every opportunity, every heartbreak and delay plays its part in creating harmony. The pauses matter just as much as the music itself. So if you find yourself waiting, wondering why life seems to be moving for everyone but you, remember this: you are not late. You are aligning. You are being positioned where your gifts, your lessons, and your heart will meet exactly who and what they're meant to. Every delay, every detour, every no is simply life's way of saying, not yet, you're not ready, they're not ready. But soon, when that moment arrives, everything that once confused you will make perfect sense. The doors will open easily, the people will fit effortlessly, and you'll feel an overwhelming calm, the kind that only comes when you realize that nothing was ever missing. It was simply waiting for its time. There comes a point in every person's life when faith is no longer an idea, but a test. It is easy to believe when everything is working, when the path is clear and the answers arrive quickly. But when the road stretches longer than you expected, when your prayers echo back in silence, and when the door you were certain would open remains shut, then faith becomes something deeper, something raw. Delay does not destroy faith, it reveals it. It strips away the shallow confidence built on comfort and exposes the kind of belief that is born only in darkness. When life pauses you, it feels personal. You begin to wonder if you've done something wrong, if perhaps you've been overlooked or forgotten. But faith is not about certainty. It's about trust without proof. It's standing still when everything in you wants to run. It's whispering, I still believe, even when your heart aches with doubt. Delay teaches you this kind of faith, the kind that isn't built on quick miracles or easy answers, but on endurance, on the decision to stay hopeful when nothing makes sense. There's something sacred about the in-between, the space between what you prayed for and when it finally arrives. That's where faith grows its roots. Anyone can celebrate when things go right, but few can find peace when the world is quiet. And yet, that silence is not punishment, it is preparation. It's in that stillness that faith learns to breathe. The waiting period reshapes your understanding of what it means to trust. You stop seeing faith as a transaction, something you trade for blessings, and start seeing it as a relationship, a quiet companionship between your soul and something far greater than you. Many people think of faith as a feeling, something warm and certain, but in truth, it's a choice, a daily one. You choose to believe even when the evidence hasn't arrived yet. You choose to see purpose in pain, to see meaning in delay. That's not naive, that's strength. It's courage in its purest form, the kind that says, I don't understand this, but I'll keep walking anyway. There's power in that kind of quiet persistence. It's the faith that built civilizations, healed hearts, and carried people through storms. Think of the farmer who plants his seeds and waits months before seeing even a hint of green. He doesn't dig them up every day to check if they're growing. He trusts the process. He waters, he tends, and he waits because he knows that growth is happening underground, unseen. Faith is the same. You plant your hope. You nurture it with patience. And though nothing may appear above the surface for a time, something is taking root beneath it. Delay deepens faith by forcing you to trust what you cannot yet see. There's a kind of beauty that only waiting can reveal, the beauty of surrender. You learn that not everything is yours to control. You learn to stop wrestling with what hasn't happened and start resting in the possibility that life knows what it's doing. That maybe the delay isn't a denial, but a design. That perhaps the timing you're frustrated with is protecting you, positioning you, or preparing you for something far greater than you imagined. Faith teaches you to let go of the clock and trust the unfolding. A woman once told me she prayed for years for her life to change. She wanted a new job, a new home, a sense of purpose. Nothing seemed to move. And then one day, everything began to shift all at once. She later said, it wasn't that my prayers were finally answered. It's that I finally changed. I became the person ready to receive what I had asked for. That's what faith in delay does. It transforms you from the inside out. The waiting shapes you into the version of yourself capable of carrying the blessing when it arrives. When you begin to see delay this way, it no longer feels like a punishment. It becomes a teacher. It shows you how to live without constant evidence, how to love without constant reassurance, how to hope without guarantees. It reminds you that the greatest growth happens in the unseen moments, those quiet, uncertain spaces where all you can do is trust. Faith deepens not through answers, but through absence. It's in the silence that you learn that God, or fate, or the universe, whatever you choose to call it, was never distant. It was working in ways your eyes couldn't perceive. One day, when you look back, you'll realize that the delay was never a void. It was a season of divine construction. The foundation was being laid. The right people, the right opportunities, the right timing, all of it was being aligned for your good. You'll see the waiting made you stronger, gentler, wiser. It taught you the language of patience and the poetry of trust. You'll see that every unanswered prayer was actually a whispered promise, not yet, but soon. And by then, your faith will not just be something you talk about. It will be something you've lived, something carved into your very being, something unshakable. So, when life makes you wait longer than you planned, don't see it as punishment. See it as preparation. The delay is not a sign that you've been forgotten. It's proof that you're being refined. Faith isn't about getting everything you want when you want it. It is about becoming someone who can hold it when it finally arrives. Every unanswered prayer Every closed door, every quiet season has been carving strength, wisdom, and patience into your soul. One day, you'll look back and realize the waiting wasn't wasted at all. It was sacred. The delay didn't break you, it built you. And when what you've been hoping for finally comes, you'll understand. It came exactly when it was meant to.